Today I'm going to be talking about the 16 to 55. Today I'm going to be talking about the XF. Today I'm going to be talking about the XF 16 to 55. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the XF 16 to 55 millimeter 2.8 R LM WR. I think I got all those letters right. What a ridiculous name. It all means something. Let me just start off by saying I have a love-hate relationship with this lens. So I'm gonna start with the hate because it's not much hate, but the hate that it is kind of a big deal. The weight of this lens is immediately noticeable. When I compare it to the 27mm Pancake, which is obviously supposed to be small, or the 35mm 1.4, which I consider a very great everyday lens, or the 13mm Viltrox, this is still much bigger than all of those. And it's not just that it's bigger, it also is much heavier. So carrying it around for a day-to-day photo shoot is not really my ideal circumstance. It's not so heavy that you can't have it in a bag and carry it with you like if you had a sling. The other thing that I don't like about the weight and the size is when I have something like this or the 35mm, I feel like when I'm, shooting with something like this, it's very unobtrusive. I don't think there's any mistake in that I'm pointing it at you, especially since I've been out with this, trying it out, and I have seen people stare right at the lens. I guess in some circumstances, the kind of photographer you are, you might actually like that, that this brings on stares, because then you'll get people's reactions. I don't necessarily want to do that to people, and I don't want to get into any kind of confrontations. So now I want to talk about the good, which are a lot of good things. The 16 to 55 focal length, that's literally the sweet spot of photography in my opinion. It doesn't really matter if you're doing landscape or portrait. Those primes are really the numbers you'd be looking for, and this zoom lens being 2.8 all the way through is like having 4 primes, right? 16, 23, 35, and 55. The pictures that I've gotten so far have been pretty great. The very first weekend I had the camera, I went up to the mountains. It was snowy conditions, but I really wanted to try it out. I went up there and it was cold and I really just was testing it out. So I would literally stop my car and jump out and, walk about 20, 30 feet into the snow and just take a picture that I saw for the sun coming up. And I got some great pictures. I got pictures that rival any of my lenses that I have right now, even going to the X100V. These pictures are fantastic. I did try it out as more of a street photography lens, and the images that I got from it are great. They're fantastic street photography images. However, I really felt self-conscious walking around with this connected to my camera. And so that's kind of the point I'm trying to make here is it's a fantastic lens. It really is. It is like having 4 primes. It's just that it's not like having 4 primes. You put it on your camera and you are using that for a while. That's what a zoom lens feels like to me. I was actually testing, the waters with this lens. So I pushed this lens everywhere I could think to push it. I used it for reflections. I used it in low light. I used it at night. I used it for motion, for handheld motion shots. And, for the most part, everything performed the way that I have grown accustomed. The way I'm planning on using it is actually making it one of 2 lenses for my travel. And that's going to be this 27mm Pancake and this 16 to 55 zoom. And the reason I want to do that is they're both weather sealed, are rated to use the entirety of the 40 megapixels on the X-T5, and I don't have to worry about situational photography like I got into with my review of the Pancake lens. I'll mostly walk around streets and crowded areas with this on the camera. I'll have this in my sling bag on my side. But then when I get out of those areas, or I get onto something more like a tour bus or a boat, I can put my 16 to 55 on where I don't know what the circumstances are going to be, and I may want more reach than the 27 millimeter, or I may want a wider look than the 27 millimeter. So I think that from a travel standpoint, I've found my kit, right? These items are going with me as a travel kit. I'm actually going to get a chance to try this out. I'm going out to Washington in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to visit some rainforest and some rocky Pacific coastline. I will actually be following up this video with another video about how these work as travel lenses. Okay, so I guess that's probably it for this little review. Again, it's a great lens, very heavy. It's a commitment when you put it on your camera. You know, you're definitely carrying some weight on the front of your camera. If it's on something smaller like the XE4, that could actually be pretty cumbersome, I think. On the XT5, it feels a little cumbersome. Yeah, that's it. And again, I thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot to me, and I hope you're enjoying it. So thank you. And I guess I should say, please like and subscribe if you liked it. Thank you.